A Ukrainian official says that Russian shelling has killed another 2 people in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. Another 19 are injured, including a child. Elsewhere, Ukraine's military is training its soldiers to use new weapons arriving from the West. Kyiv hopes that the new anti-tank rocket launchers and mortars will change the tide of the war. Earlier, Washington announced it was also sending more longer-range arms to Ukraine. Russia has criticized the U.S., saying the move forces Moscow to widen the conflict in Ukraine.
As the West pours more and more long-range weapons, such as HIMARS, into Ukraine in an impotent rage, or in a desire to exacerbate the situation as much as possible. That means the geographical tasks of the special operation will extend still further from the current line. We cannot allow the part of Ukraine that President Volodymyr Zelensky, or whoever replaces him will control, to have weapons that will pose a direct threat to our territory and the territory of those republics that have declared their independence.
Earlier, I spoke with DW correspondent Matthias Bollinger in Kyiv. He told us how Ukrainians are reacting to Lavrov's announcement of extending Russian war goals.
Let's just put this a little bit into perspective. Russia has, in February, attacked from 3 sides, including the capital of Kyiv. And Vladimir Putin has held a speech where he basically denied the existence of Ukraine as a nation. So here in Ukraine, nobody ever believed that these military actions will be limited to the Donbas, other than for short strategic adjustments. Russia was not able to advance further in the north, and it has been stopped in the south before entering Mykolaiv and then further Odessa, which are the 2 most important port cities. So if Lavrov now blames the West for expanding its military goals, that's of course a propaganda coup that nobody here in Ukraine falls for, because this is something that Russia has often done. It has often blamed its own or framed its own ambitions as a reaction to the West. So here in Ukraine there hasn't been much of a reaction to Lavrov's words because they're nothing new, basically.
And the EU just imposed new sanctions on Russia, but Ukraine's President Zelensky said last night that that's not enough. What does he want? Well,
he's always asking for the maximum, of course. That's a reasonable thing to do for somebody who is in that position. And that would be to cut Russia off any income from gas and oil, or nearly cut them off. And he's been talking a lot, of course, about the 2 Nord Stream pipelines, one of which has never been operating, which was suspended due to the war, and the other one which has been operating already quite a few years, Nord Stream 1, which is going, which is delivering gas from today on again. So the aim of Ukraine is, of course, to weaken the income of Russia, so Russia cannot finance its war any further.
Meantime, what's the latest on the ground, Matthias?
Well, we've seen heavy fighting, we've seen shelling, we've just seen the pictures. In the eastern regions in the past few days, there was also quite some activity in the south, mainly rocket attacks on Odessa and cluster ammunition and rockets on Mykolaiv, which also speaks to the claim that Russia is making to the south. What Ukraine has done is to intensify its attacks on the Kherson region, and it seems to have hit the most important bridge there. Kherson is on the north side of the Dnieper River, and supplies from Russia are coming in from the south, from Crimea, and there are very few bridges across the Dnieper River. One is this Antonov bridge that has been hit by the Ukrainians, so they're targeting now the supply lines of the Russians in order to launch their counteroffensive.
Matthias Bollinger in Kyiv. Thank you.